Hi and welcome back to my channel. It was my husband Andrew's birthday on Thursday the 11th of January and now it's Saturday and I'm going to make him a chocolate cake. Now this isn't strictly Slimming World friendly. If anyone does want to try and work out the sins then please feel free. The thing that I would do with this and being on Slimming World is I would have no other sins in that day and have one small piece for my sins. So it's completely up to you how you tackle it. But I am going to show you how to make a milk chocolate cake from the Bureau Home Recipes book. I always used to enjoy baking and cooking, especially cakes when I was a young teenager. I've always made or bought Andrew a cake. He's usually the cake maker, but once a year I like to make the effort. So this is the one I'm going to make this time, milk chocolate cake, and if you do have this book it's on page 49. And what we'll need for this is self-raising flour. I'll go through the amounts as we go along. Caster sugar, good quality cocoa powder, eggs, butter or margarine, I'm going to use butter, some carnation milk, some vanilla essence and a pinch of salt. So we need to grease and line. Grease two 8-inch cake tins, which I'm going to do, and preheat the oven to 180 degrees C. So that's what I will do and I will come back. Right, so the first thing we need is 200 grams of self-raising flour. I'm just going to weigh that out into a separate bowl first. A bit too much there. That will do. And then we need 25 grams of cocoa powder. I'm using this Green and Black's organic, which is really good. So 25 grams of that, and I'm also putting this into the separate bowl. There we go, that's your self-raising flour and cocoa powder. Then you just want half a teaspoon of the salt. Hang on, actually, I'll not use this one, I'll use table salt. So yeah, half a teaspoon of table salt. I'll stick a bit of that in. And then you just want to put that through your sieve into your mixing bowl. I'll just sieve that through and then I think it's adding the fats next. Then you need to weigh out your 100 grams of margarine or butter. Have that bit to use up. I've actually had I've had the butter and the eggs out of the fridge all morning so that they can be at room temperature. So it's worthwhile 2 or 3 hours before you want to start making it if you get the butter or margarine and eggs out of the fridge. So 100 grams of butter. I'll put that straight in there. Sorry for the noise. Just like that. And then it says rub it in. Well, I'm not getting my hands dirty. I'm just going to mix it with the mixer. Just gently on a low power. Next, you'll need your eggs and evaporated milk. So you need 2 medium eggs. So I'm going to do this in a jug. I've got 2 medium eggs. Oops, a daisy. No shell in there. 2 medium eggs, and then you want your evaporated milk. I've just got Nestle Carnation, and you want 5 tablespoons. That's about right, and half of one for good measure. And then you just want to beat that. And then I'm going to put my essence in as well. So a few drops of vanilla extract or vanilla essence. Into there. That another mix. And then you want to get your mixer ready. Put it on and then slowly add the egg mixture and beat well. You also need 5 tablespoons of water, so I'll just get that. I've got some water in my jug and I'm going to add roughly 5 tablespoons of water. I'm going to see how that goes. I'll just leave that there if I need a little more. I prefer to use this hand mixer. You could use your beater, but just see how it goes. Now, have you spotted what I've forgotten? I have forgotten my caster sugar. Must be the pressure of filming, but never mind. You are supposed to add this at the first stage, and that's why it wasn't creaming. But never mind, we will add it now and it won't do it any harm. So 225 grams of caster sugar. Andrew will kill me when he watches this back. Yeah, 225 grams of caster sugar, and if you add that at the beginning when we do the flour and the salt and the cocoa, so we'll stick that in and then we'll give it another mix. Right, so we're all sorted with the right ingredients. And my trick is to give it a really good mix with these. They're a bit longer than you might do normally. Get quite a bit of air into it. So I'm just going to turn it up to the top and give it a really good beat. Right, so I have my two greased cake tins, and this is what my mixture looks like, much more like a cake mix should look like. It is a good job I licked the end of my finger to discover that it lacked sugar, but never mind. I can't believe I did that. Never mind Andrew, if my mum's watching this, she'll kill me as well. So I've got mine on the scales, but you don't have to. If you've got a good eye, just split them, split the mixture into your two cake tins. And if you can do it without making a mess like me, then that is even better. Once you've split your mixture, level it out in the cake tin and maybe take a palette knife just to try and smooth the top a little. Make sure you've got an even distribution of cake. That one's okay. Right, so then we need to cook those on 180 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. So I will see you in about half an hour. Right, I've just taken these out of the oven and they've been in for half an hour, and you can check that they're done by just pressing them, and if they spring back, that's one sign. Another sign is the cake has come away from the edges, and the third sign is get a I forgot what these are called now, these stabber things, cake tester, and just put it in gently, and if it comes away clean, then the cake is done. And just test that in a few different places, and I will leave those to cool a while and take them out shortly. So I coaxed my cakes out of the oven, out of the cake tins, and I've just drafted the expert in, Mr. Fawcett, to cut one of the tops off for me to make it slightly level so that I can decorate them. I need to build up my confidence in doing things like this, but when you've got an expert in the house. So there's my other half. And I'm going to make the middle and the topping now. I'm just going to cut a little bit off that one as well. Make that the middle. Or what you could also do is turn it round so that it's the bottom. Then you've got a lovely flat surface there as well. So whichever side you wish to use. Right. So what would you do with that, Mr. Fawcett?
Put it in bin.
Not eat it?
No.
I'm not going to show Andrew because he's still poorly.
Oh.
But yeah, that goes in the bin and not in our mouths, unfortunately. Right, so the topping I'm going to make is the topping and the filling is milk chocolate icing, also in the Bureau book, and it's on page 82. So I'm going to make, I need 60 grams of margarine melted. So let's get 60 grams of margarine weighed out. Well, I'm going to use butter because I think it's nicer. That's 40. 63, that will do. Just going to put that in there for 10 seconds. It's already actually quite soft. Then I'm going to get ready 250 grams of icing sugar. I've got Tate and Lyle icing sugar here. So 250 grams of icing sugar. There we go. And then we want the cocoa powder again. So again, it's the green and blacks. And we want a tablespoon of cocoa powder. So we'll stick that in there. That's nicely melted. So where did I put my sieve? So I'm going to sieve the icing sugar and the cocoa powder into my butter. Do the rest of that in a second. So while I'm sieving that, I'm going to, it actually says milk, but I'm going to use this evaporated milk. I'm going to use it up. So we want 3 tablespoons of evaporated milk, or just normal milk, and it says hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to warm that slightly as well. So I'm going to put that in for, I don't know, 20 seconds. That should be more than enough. So I've got my hot milk. And also it wants a teaspoon of vanilla essence. So we'll... Oh, I've already took the top off, that's why. We'll put a bit of that in, the vanilla extract again. And then I'm going to take my trusty mixer, very, very slowly at first. I'm going to beat it. So you'll see that it's come together really, really nicely. You may need to add a little bit of water, but that looks fine to me. Here's my topping. I've tasted it and it's quite sugary, quite sickly, so I've changed my mind. I'm not going to use this as the filling and the topping. I'm just going to use it as the topping, and what I'm going to use as the filling is Nutella. So as I've shown you earlier, Andrew's just shaved some little bits of the cake off, and I've turned one round, and I'm going to use this as the middle. and I'm not going to be weighing or measuring this, so I'm just going to spread that over. You could melt it a little bit if you wanted to make it easier to spread. But it gets it used up. Right, I think I did quite well there with the Nutella. I managed not to lick the knife or my fingers. So I've got Nutella in the middle, and then I've topped it with the other half of the cake, and I've actually turned this one over as well. Then I'm going to take my chocolate topping. There's probably too much here now, but never mind. I'm going to put a generous amount on. I don't think I'm going to run it down the sides. I might see what Andrew says. Just try and make it look as pretty as you can. Put a little bit more on. Never meant to be a contender for Cake of the Year or anything, but just a nice gesture where the cake maker doesn't have to make his own cake. Right, there we go, and let's see how I'm going to decorate it. So I have some chocolate sprinkles from Morrison's. I'm going to put those in the middle. This is a brilliant way of covering up any mistakes that you've made. So let me get my knife back so I can spread those out a little. And then I have got some Terry's chocolate orange minis, and I believe this is the only thing I know for Slimming World. I believe these are 1 sin each, and Andrew loves these, so I'm going to put some. Should probably be working out where the slices will go, but never mind. Put them a bit closer together so I can get 10 out, I think. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10. And there we go. There is my simple chocolate cake. I'll show you it properly in a second. And here is my simple chocolate cake sandwiched with Nutella, topped with chocolate buttercream, chocolate crispy sprinkles and Terry's chocolate orange segments. And the birthday boy himself is behind the camera.
Oh, that looks lovely. Thanks, love.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's slipping a bit.
Yeah, I know how it feels. Yeah, very nice. Thank you very much. It's lovely that I've had one made for me. It makes a nice change.
And there we are. From the Biro book, my simple chocolate cake. I've just cut Andrew a slice of his birthday cake, And this is what it looks like inside. It's really moist on the inside. It's a little bit dry on the edges, but it looks really nice inside. And you can see how thick I've put the icing on the top and the Nutella in the middle. So he's going to have some of that for his pudding.